I was cooking at an Asian restaurant, and I got handed a slap in my ego when I approached my owner about the fact that I really wanted. I thought maybe this could be a path for me. Like, I think that I could run a restaurant.
This is 2011.
This 2000. Yeah, 2000. Well, it was 2009 when I had this conversation with my restaurant owner and told her, I was like, maybe this is the path that I want to do. I think that I could do this. I've spent so much time in kitchens. Like, I feel so confident in my cooking right now. Like, I really believe that I could do this. And she just looked at me and said, Phillip, like, dude, there's no fucking way you're going to do this. She said, Phillip, it's going to cost $200,000 for you to open a restaurant. Have reality.
So what was she, was she saying that you in your moment, your current situation are not in the position, but you yourself could do it, but you weren't set up financially to do it?
Right. She knew that I was just like this dude that's playing music, sleeping on couches, and coming to work and cooking, and like have an inflated ego about myself at the time because I'm 20 something and unstoppable in my mind.
You sound like I did at 28 years old.
Fortunately,
until my early 30s, driving across the country and sleeping on couches.
Dude, I hope that everybody feels invincible in their 20s, and I hope that everybody gets hit with reality in their 30s to be like, oh, maybe I can learn from that.
Yeah, for sure. So, so she kind of gave you a reality check that, like, if you're gonna do this, like, you need to. What was her advice?
Well, she didn't have advice for me. So at the time, it was just a big slap in my face. For me, for her, it was most likely she had the best intention in her heart. Was like, hey, have reality, okay, dude? Like, you live paycheck to paycheck. How are you going to open a restaurant?
Yeah.
So for her, it was probably that. But for me, it was this like moment of defiance, and I took a stand and said, like, dude, you can't tell me what I can accomplish. Like, how are you going to tell me what I can and can't do? And I know that a lot of people like have those moments, but that really was the moment for me to say, like, no. That you're not going to tell me that something that I want to achieve is undoable. Like, and fuck you. But I still love this woman. She's fucking amazing. She's wonderful. She runs great restaurants.
But it was that like little bit of like nudge, dude, a little bit of a jab in the rib that you're like, okay.
Push me over. And so I moved to Austin to do music for a little bit. I thought I was going to pursue music. And down there, I lived right across from South Congress Food Truck Court.
Yes.
And so I was like, so I got to go over to the food truck court every day for lunch or breakfast or whatever. And at the time, the food truck scene was just starting to take off around this time. This was, around that time, 2009, 2010, something like that, And I got inspired by one food truck in particular there, and they only had a food truck. They had nothing else.
I really hope I know who it is.
Of course you know who it is. I've heard that you interviewed him. It's Torchy's Tacos.
Yes.
And dude, Torchy's Tacos absolutely changed me, like, to my core. It resonated so much with who I felt that I was at that time, and like my opinions of what the food that I could afford to eat should be. So, like, I couldn't afford to go to fine dining or anything back then, so I didn't really have perspective on what fine dining should be. I had perspective on what should a $12 meal be. Mm-hmm. And there were so many shitty $12 meals and uninspired. It's just the same bullshit. Everybody's regurgitating the same crap. And then out of this, like, shining sea and ray of light came Torchy's Tacos food truck. And to me, it was like, oh, roasted poblano ranch sauce, and like, it was like whatever, like, it's little fucking things. But back then, those little things really set apart from what the standard base crowd was doing. And Torchy's really was like, and sure, like, anybody that's living in Austin now is going to be like, Taco Deli's better than Torchy's. Like, there's always going to be a better place. But back then, fuck that. Like, they were all about
Torchy's. 2011 right now, right? So this is after this woman said, hey, you know what?
Right. And my time frame might be wrong. It might be 2009, something.
My mind works chronologically, and I feel like it's just a good way to like keep reference. So
for sure.
So she said, Phillip, maybe lay off the magic puff, whatever.
Yeah, sure.